quite honestly, that's how I got, connected with Espresso Agent. I had never done it before, but I said, well, I need to start talking with people
Yeah.
somehow. So let me figure out a way to do that. And I got into, did my research and eventually landed on, I focused primarily on expired listings and FSBOs. So I got linked up with Espresso Agent, and now I talk to people all day long about real estate.
Hi, I'm Noelle with today's Brew, where top producing real estate agents share their tips and tricks on taking more listings, making more money, and having fun doing it. On today's episode, we welcome George Kalafut from Austin, Texas. Hey, George, how are you?
Hi, Noelle. I'm doing great today. Thank you.
Thanks for coming on.
Having me.
Thanks for coming. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, for sure. So you already said it. I live in Austin, Texas. I'm a real estate agent in Austin. That's my primary market here. I've been a real estate agent for the past 7 years. Spent a lot of time over the past 7 to 10 years in real estate development. I've worked on a lot of large commercial development projects. Spent a lot of time as an investor in residential real estate as well, doing fix and flips, rentals. Have a lot of clients now that are investors as well. Focus primarily these days on residential sales. That's fun. That's what I've transitioned my career to this past year. Looking forward to having a really good year in residential, focusing full time on sales here in Austin.
So what was the transition from commercial over to residential?
Yeah, it's a lot different, obviously, dealing with businesses and developers and things like that to homeowners. I could tell you there's a lot more emotion and feelings involved in one more so than the other. I do like when when things are more of a business relationship and we're viewing things as business rather than, sometimes people live there for a long time and it's a very big emotional attachment. So I do have fun, working through those challenges and helping clients, because it is a lot more rewarding to help a homeowner, homeowners and home buyers accomplish their goal. Then there's a lot more appreciation than sometimes when you're just dealing with business folks.
Oh, absolutely. I am working with a buyer right now myself, and we are buying a home that had been on the market for quite some time, which is unusual seeing how the inventory is so low. And it was a really cute place, but it was a flip. And I told them, they're like, well, why do you think it's been on the market so long? And I said, well, I can tell you why. It's a flip. I was like, they want to get out what they put into it. I said, there's zero emotion for them. I was like, that's all going to be on you and how you feel about the home. But you're right. It is more gratifying to work with the emotional side of it, although then the investment side of it and non-emotional can be nice too, because it's just a straight business deal.
Yeah. And you never know what you're going to get when you're in this business. Clients could be super easy, or you could go into it thinking it's going to be really smooth and easy, and you got really good clients, and then somewhere down the road you find out this is going to be a lot more challenging than I anticipated.
When you have that really good one, and then you're waiting for it, like, oh, that one was too easy, so the next one is going to be difficult.
Yeah.
But it is nice. So are you born and raised in Austin?
No, I'm actually from Ohio originally.
Okay.
I've been in Texas. This is my 11th year in Texas.
Okay.
Moved around a little bit, Houston, and been in Austin the past 3 or 4 years and love it.
So what did that mean for you business-wise, and establishing yourself and your brand and finding clients?
And quite honestly, that's how I got, connected with Espresso Agent, because I decided, I had never done it before, but I said, well, I need to start talking with people somehow. So let me figure out a way to do that. And I got into, did my research and eventually landed on, I focused primarily on expired listings and FSBOs. So I got linked up with Espresso Agent, and now I talk to people all day long about real estate.
I love
Some
it.
some
I
calls
love
are
it.
better than others, but I'm still talking to people every day.
Well, that's gonna happen, right? When you're having those better or not such great calls, how do you keep going during the day? How do you keep your mindset healthy?
Yeah, well, if anybody who's called expireds knows, it's not a walk in the park. You get most of the people probably don't want to talk to you,
Mhm,
and you have to kind of just power through it. And I think it's an important thing to consider is having the correct expectations when
mhm,
you're going into it. My mindset is always, I'm going to get an appointment, a listing appointment today, every single day. That's my mindset going into it. Does not happen every day.
I was gonna
And
ask you, that was my next
yeah,
question.
it does not happen every day, but that's my mindset because you
Mhm,
have to be confident. And the whole name of this is confidence, right? You have to sound confident on the phone. In order to sound confident on the phone, you have to be confident in yourself. You have to be confident that you are the solution to this
mhm,
problem of someone's trying to sell their house and they couldn't, whatever reason, and you are the solution to them. And very quickly, you have to be able to convey some that message to them so they're at least interested enough to carry on that conversation.
mhm, mhm.
And like I said, I'm new at I haven't been doing it this long, and I have plenty of times when I mess up and I
Yeah,
kick myself for not saying the thing that I should have, but
mhm,
you just keep going. I mean, I think an important quote I heard recently was, don't be attached to the outcome. Don't be attached to the outcome. And when I start thinking about that, I think about it as, hey, I'm going to go do what I know I need to do. And if it works out on this one, great. If it doesn't, I'm going to move on to the next one. I'm not committed to any of these things. You're prospecting. So
yeah.
you just prospect.
Yeah, no, you're so right about that. You need to enjoy the process as much as possible. And you're right, the outcome, because the outcome may not even be what it looks like it's going to be. You could work with somebody for so long and then they decide to rent, or on the selling side, you can get great offers on the house you have listed and then they decide they don't even want to move. Um,
Yeah.
so a deal's really never a deal until it's closed.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So working on that confidence that you were mentioning, how do you do that? What are you doing behind the scenes to give yourself the confidence, have the right answers? Are you working with a coach, scripts?
Yeah, well, two things. I mean, I do a lot of things. I'll address one of the first questions you said as far as confidence. And, confidence goes back to skills and having at least some level of skills to be able to conduct conversations that are meaningful, and having that mindset. I'm a big reader. I don't know if you could see it, but I've got a big
Yep, no, I
bookshelf
can.
of books behind me. So reading, whether it's Audible or an actual book, I'm always listening or reading something related to business, mindset, real estate. That always helps me kind of keep grounded in my mind,
Mhm.
especially when you go a week and maybe you had a slow week and you start thinking, man, what's going on? What am I doing wrong? Just get back to the basics. Read, listen to something different. Um, keep fresh ideas. I also, I join twice a week the Espresso Agent Mastermind
Mhm.
calls with Jim Chamberlain. Love them. Super beneficial. It's a great group of people. A lot of experienced people on there sharing ideas. It's truly a mastermind. So it's just a lot
Mhm.
of good information. And then I also work with Jackie Kravitz in her
Okay.
sales X training. So I attend her mastermind calls twice weekly as well. So between those two, I mean, there's plenty of information,
Mhm.
content to focus on to help you build the skills, build the confidence. And Jackie is very big on mindset.
Yes.
So, following Jackie and listening to what she has to say is very beneficial in keeping a
Mhm.
positive mindset because we all get negative. It's gonna
Oh, yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
It's just how quickly can you get back to the positive?
Mhm. So, what are you doing in your mornings to prepare? So, I know you have your mastermind groups, but when you first get up in the morning, what's your routine like when you're leading into your prospecting, and then how long are you prospecting for?
Yeah, it's a great question. Typically, the first thing I do in the morning is I try to go on a walk or a run, 20 to 30 minutes. I live in Austin, so it's generally pretty tolerable outside year round, which allows me to do that. Because I'm not an indoor treadmill person, so I got
Yeah.
to be outside doing it. So I like to wake up, go on a walk, definitely listening to whatever book I have at that time. Right now, I'm listening to the Full Feet Agent. I don't know if
Okay.
you're familiar with that one. That's a really good
No.
one. Um, so I do that, then I eat breakfast, and then I get right into doing some role playing. And I transcribe some role plays in the morning. I definitely try to listen to at least one or two of my calls from the previous day,
Okay.
and usually the bad ones, so I can figure out like, all right, this conversation ended. It didn't go the way I wanted to. What
Mhm.
could I have done differently to change the outcome of that call? So I think role playing is big. I role play with one or two people every day.
Wow.
Um,
Wow.
yeah, but also listening to your calls, I think, is so important. It's helped me tremendously
Mhm.
in, you know, keeping calls going longer, right? You might not get an appointment, but like, how do I at least keep these calls going longer? It's a challenge that I put on myself to continue the conversation, because the
Mhm.
longer you're on the phone, there's a better chance you're going to build rapport and potentially get an appointment with that person.
Took the words right out of my mouth. That's what I was thinking. Okay, so say you're listening to one of your calls from the day before and it wasn't your good one. Uh, will you call them back?
I usually try to do that.
Mhm.
Um, it might not be the next day. It might, usually I'll tell you this, on Saturdays, I have a filing system with the calls. So if I thought there was good potential there, if maybe I'm just like, oh, I left too much on the table, I've got to call them back. Usually on Saturdays, I go back and follow up with all the people that I talked to that told me to follow up, or they were
Mhm.
busy at the time, or whatever excuse, we came up
Yeah.
with. Saturdays is usually when I try to get back to everybody.
I bet there's not a lot of people calling on Saturday.
Yeah, just this year, I got a listing. I got an appointment and the listing strictly because he liked that I had a work ethic because I was calling on Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're not working, so they should be more open to talking to you. I mean, I called a guy for a year and and I got the listing. I got 2 of his listings actually, but it
Yeah,
took a year.
I would say for people who don't call on Saturdays,
Mhm.
try it once. Your answered calls goes up tremendously from the week. It does, at least for me. I always get more answers on Saturdays.
So, I know your goal is to get a listing every day, but you also said that doesn't always happen. So, what is it looking like for you right now? Are you getting 1 a week or a few?
Yeah, so I got four in the first 4 weeks of this year.
Woohoo.
And yeah, and then I've hit about a 2 week dry spell on picking up listings, and that's probably my fault. It's nothing but my fault, because I did spend probably an entire week just getting those listings like ready to
Ready.
go and prepping and doing stuff to get those, because I was like, all of a sudden, like, oh crap, I got four listings already. Like, these are coming on the market. I need to go do
Yeah.
stuff to get those
Yeah.
ready. So the first one I already came on the market, sold it in 4 days. Um, so then my other ones, they're coming on here next week. So
Awesome. So, how long have you been full-time residential since you transferred over?
yeah, honestly, just a couple months.
Okay. Oh, okay. So real new. So, and that's when you started Espresso Agent all within a couple
Yes.
months?
Yeah, my cold calling experiences is like week 7.
Okay. Oh, well, you don't seem like it. You have confidence and you seem very relaxed. And that I think both of those are equally as important. Not wanting to seem like too nervous. Like you want to seem like you are the professional that's on the other end of the phone.
Well, I mean, if you don't believe it, they're certainly not going to believe it. So
No, no way. Not at all. Okay. So, what is your goal for the year?
yeah, my goal for the year, which I have written right here, is to sell 46 homes.
That would be awesome. Super awesome. And
Yeah.
you've got, all right, the new year, I know it's February and so did you start in January pretty much when you switched over to
Mhm.
residential? It was like a new year, new goal type of
Yep.
thing.
New
Okay.
year, new me.
Okay.
hmm
Okay. 46. Okay. I love that. That is really ambitious, but I think
Well,
you
I
can
mean,
do
here's the
it.
thing: if you're going to go do something different, like, I'm going to set a big goal because I want it to be
Yeah.
worth it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So what about coaches? Are you just with Jim and Jackie, or do you have another coach on the side? And do you follow a certain specific script? Is it ours? Is it what do you have going on?
Yeah. So right now, for as far as coaching goes, I'm just the two that you mentioned.
Hmm.
I do follow Jackie's script, or I should say the Sales X
Hmm.
expired script is primarily what I use right now. Yeah.
Okay. So you said that you have like a little bit of like the last 2 weeks was a little bit off just because you were prepping your listings. Um, Are you thinking about switching sources and maybe doing neighborhood calling around, neighborhood circle dialing because of your listings to see if you can find something from that?
Yeah, actually, it's funny you said that. I just started doing that this morning. I did some circle prospecting using the neighborhood search on
Okay.
Espresso this morning. That's what I was doing before we got on this.
Did people pick up?
Yeah, I had 12 people answer.
Okay. And now what's their response to you? Are they kind of like, why are you calling me? Or are they more receptive to it?
So out of the 12, I had two people that were curious,
Okay.
um, thinking about moving, not sure when. Of course, I went through the try to sell some value to them, and,
Hmm.
and um, just keeping in contact, because neither of them were aggressive in
Yeah.
their or I shouldn't say aggressive, but didn't seem to have much motivation. But I was trying to find a way to at least keep in contact with them. So got email addresses. I have addresses. So I've recently started a follow up plan to keep in contact with these people, mostly with mailers and then of course
Hmm.
emails, because I like calling and I want to call them continuously and I want them to remember who I am when I call them. So we could start forming a relationship, so that obviously our goal is when they are ready to do something,
Hmm.
I'm the person that they think of.
Absolutely. Now, do you let them know? Would you do this for them when you say following up with lead and mailers and maybe some emails? Would you let them know like their equity in their home, or would you make that a face-to-face appointment? Like if you could get
Yeah,
that.
yeah. As soon as I mean, I'd really like to just get in front of people, because
Yeah.
that's really, I think, where I shine the most, based off of my previous experience in life and my career. If I could get in person with somebody, I could form a much better relationship. So I would do what I need to try to
Hmm.
get an appointment with them. I think it's all goes back to creating some sort of curiosity with
Hmm.
them, and making them believe like, hey, there's value here. Let's just have a conversation, sit down and just look at your specific situation, to see what's best for you, and put a plan together. If you want to move in 2 years, okay, let's put a plan together, see what that looks like.
Yeah. I have a question speaking about like objections. So you just took 4 listings recently. With these 4 listings, was there any kind of chatter about commission? And not just your commission, but the seller's agent commission?
Thus far, it has not.
Okay,
No.
cool.
I
Okay.
mean, thankfully, I feel like I give a good listing presentation, value proposition, so that when we get to signing the listing agreement, it's just, hey, my commission's 6%, and we move on. And it's never been challenged. But I welcome the day that it does get challenged. I'm happy
Yeah.
to have that conversation.
Yeah. No, you'll
I
be
love
prepared.
negotiating, so I mean, I'm happy. Let's do it.
Well, I really enjoyed speaking today. But I do want to hear one more thing. So, if you have new agents around you, like yourself, or anyone getting into the business, what are you going to tell them to do? What's the one thing that they need to do getting into real estate to be successful?
That's a great question.
Hmm.
I think, obviously this is a little bit generic, but you have to have a plan.
Hmm.
It all starts with a plan of what you want. And then once you have it, you could figure out the right steps that you need to take to accomplish that plan. If you have to be talking with people about real estate.
Hmm.
If you're not, like, you're not in business.
Hmm.
And if you're not, if you're not calling expireds and for sale by owners and all of those, kind of call them like hotter type leads,
Yeah.
I don't know what you're doing. And also, if you're new in real estate, you probably don't have a big, you probably have no like referral clients or
You have
things
nothing to
coming in.
do.
I know I don't, but very quickly you could start picking up the phone for almost like, you don't have to spend money on marketing. You're just picking up the phone,
Mhm.
having conversations. Um, so I think the biggest thing is just you need to be talking to people.
Yeah. As far as marketing for you, are you big on social media, or do you just prefer to pick up the phone and make your calls?
Yeah, it's a work in progress. I'm trying
Mhm.
to, previous to this, I wasn't a big social media person,
Yeah.
but now, I see that it's necessary. So I do Facebook ads, I run two all the time. I get a ton of leads or
Mhm.
prospects through there. A handful of those are, real, and the rest are
Okay.
hard to get a hold of or just kind of tire kickers. So you just have to vet those things out, right?
Yeah.
Happy to call. I call every day for hours, so I'm going to keep them on my call list. But that's the two: cold calling and Facebook is kind of my two things.
Okay, so are you calling up until lunchtime and then doing paperwork and getting out in the field, or if you don't have anything going on that afternoon, are you getting back on the phone?
Yeah, sometimes, definitely in the morning. Yeah, up until whether it's the espresso agent launch call or our sales X training, which are both like right around lunchtime. So I do it up till there. I'll usually role play after that. Depending on the day, I might get back on the phone. Like today, after this, I'm going to go to a meetup event here in Austin. Just trying to
Okay.
get back and meet people and like when you're behind the computer calling for so long,
Uh-huh.
you kind of like I need to get out and talk to like actual
Oh,
people,
I
meet
know.
people
I
face
know.
to
I've
face.
become quite the recluse myself. I'm like, oh, you need to
Yeah,
get out and be social.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was a pleasure speaking with you and good luck. I think you're going to hit 46. Maybe you'll even hit 50.
We'll see. I'll
Yeah.
keep you posted.
Yeah. No, I want to like follow her up at the end of the year.
Cool.
All right. Well,
Yeah. Well,
thanks so
thanks for
much.
having me.
Yeah. Thank you, George.